Hello friends, this morning I'm going to make Mama's biscuits, and so I've had some of my family members and my kids and my cousins ask me how to do this. So this is Mama's recipe, so if you don't like it, fuss at her, but it actually is very good, but I'm going to put a little twist on it. So here we go. I'm going to show you the ingredients. I have 2 cups of flour, and this is self-rising flour. And then I have just another cup of self-rising flour, another bowl, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I have 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of oil, canola oil's best, and then 1 cup of buttermilk. And here is the twist. The twist that I'm going to put in here is everything bagel seasoning. So in everything bagel seasoning, we got to mix in the dry 2 cups of flour first. So I'm going to pour this in here. I'm going to mix it back up, mix all that up dry. And then I'm going to add my mayo and my oil and my milk, and my buttermilk, that is. So put your everything bagel seasoning in first. Mix all that together. After that is all thoroughly mixed, you'll add your mayo and your oil and kind of mix that a little bit. And then you'll start adding your buttermilk to it and getting consistency. And I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, I have my everything bagel seasoning, 4 tablespoons, mixed into my 2 cups of self-rising flour. So now I'm going to start adding my other ingredients. I have now added my mayo and my oil, and I'm going to give this just a little stir, and then I'm going to start adding buttermilk. Now I'm adding my buttermilk, a little bit at a time, and then I'm going to pour the rest in and mix this up. So I have my very kind of wet mixture here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour it into this cup of flour, and I'm going to start processing it until it's not so sticky. And this is 1 cup of self-rising flour, but I'm going to add the dough to this and start playing with it with my hands and getting it to the right consistency. You want it to get where it's not very sticky to your hands, that you can kind of pinch it off and roll it. And we're going to roll them in our hands. So this is how Mama does it. So let me get that process going. Okay, with my clean hands, I'm going to start folding and molding the dough. I'm going to have to put the phone down so I can use my other hand. But you'll see I start folding this flour into it, and it's going to make it where it's a little bit drier and not so sticky. Okay, my mixture is still a little bit wet. I'm going to add another ½ cup of flour just at the bottom so I have some to play with as I start to roll them out, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Sometimes it varies. Sometimes your flour can be a little bit, as you make your mixture can be a little bit moisture, but you want to get the right consistency where it don't stick to you too much. So I've just added my flour on the side, and then I'm going to start kind of working it into my dough to see how much more I need. If I have leftover, that's no big deal. I'll just chunk it. So I was able to roll my first one pretty easily. You have to put the bread in there, and you can see like this is it right here. I just rolled it around with both hands in between my hands like this. Both hands, and now I'm just going to put it on my grease, and this means a lightly greased plant pan. Lightly greased, because if you put too much grease, it'll burn the bottom of your biscuits. So I'm going to roll them all out and process them on the pan here in the baking sheet. And we're going to put them in a 450-degree oven. While you're making your biscuits, it's better to go ahead and turn your oven on and let it be warming up so you'll be ready to pop them in. So 450 degrees Fahrenheit. So as you can see, I've got my biscuits now panned out, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 450. And you can see I make a mess with flour, and I still got quite a bit left over, but that was as I roll them. I would also make sure they weren't sticking to my hand. Then I'd kind of put flour on each side so it won't stick to the pan as well. And so now we're going to pop them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to have to watch them closely after that 15-minute mark and make sure that they're not going to burn. But they'll be slightly browning on the top when they're ready. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, the biscuits looks wonderful. We've taken them out of the oven. As you can see, they're lightly brown on the top. And look at that bottom. The bottom's just right. And we're going to plate these and cut into them. Doesn't this look just wonderful? Put a little butter on there. Everything is better with butter, but only in moderation, and butter's not for everyone. But look how delicious that's gonna be. Yummy.